Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors. And today I'm going to be talking about helpful support and what that means to me. Um, and hopefully, it will be a good structure that you can go by and sort of recognize what helpful support actually is all about. This is good for people that are struggling with eating disorders, but it's also good for people who know someone who has an eating disorder. And first thing I'm going to do is actually post a link to a video that I did quite a while back. And it's basically a video for a friend of an eating disorder sufferer. And it's just some good advice for someone who is not dealing with an eating disorder themselves. Okay, so the first thing that I think constitutes helpful support is listening. You have to really be willing to listen, and listening is going to feel really good to someone who's struggling and looking for helpful support. Listening doesn't mean just hearing what someone is saying and going about your day. It means really paying attention, really looking for signs that this person needs more help than you can give them. Basically, even if you don't understand, you are trying to understand. And that leads me to the second thing that's helpful support from my point of view, attempt to understand. Because we all know that people without eating disorders can't fully grasp the situation. They can't really grasp the reality of what living with an eating disorder is like. So maybe they can't understand, and they shouldn't pretend to understand, but they can attempt to understand, and they can understand to the best of their level. And that attempt to understand can mean so much for passing people off that have an eating disorder, or acting like they're crazy, or it's very, very difficult for someone to spill their guts to a person who is not offering any attempt to understand whatsoever. So that's really key. Offer to help. This can mean giving someone resources. It can mean offering up someone else, in the field, another friend. Basically, it's just asking them, hey, what do you need? What can I help you with? How can I make this better for you? Is there anything that I can do? If you're just taking a moment to ask them a simple question, you're not just listening, you're not just hearing what they have to say, you're actually asking, what can I do? What do you need? What do you need that I can't do? Just think of the things that you would want to be asked if you were struggling with something very difficult, and ask those questions. All it really takes is putting yourself in someone else's position. Good support is more than just provision of resources. Sometimes silence is a good thing when you're offering support to someone, because if you're listening to someone talk and they're telling you about their eating disorder and they're telling you how they need help, and you're sitting there and you're continually, maybe not cutting them off, but you're continually saying, what about this? And what about this? And just giving them advice after advice after advice. And really, all they want is someone to listen to them. They just want someone to sit there and hear them, know that their voice is a valid voice, hear their pain, hold them when they're crying, give them a hug when they need to be held. That is productive silence. So learning productive silence is really helpful. I think that's a great tool. And it's really helpful for someone who's struggling with an eating disorder. I mean, sometimes you need the resources, you need the advice, but you also need to learn how to just sit there and be, and let that person talk, and let them get things off their chest that they need to get off their chest. Helpful support is non-judgmental. If you're going to judge someone, you're not going to really be fully supporting them. And along those lines, if the person with an eating disorder feels judged, they're not going to be very willing to get help from you. They're not going to be very willing to tell you more about their problems and their troubles. Encouragement is so important, because listening to someone is great, but you want to sort of be their cheerleader. You want to let them know, hey, I'm here for you, and I believe in you, and I have faith in you, and you can do this, you can beat this, we'll do whatever it takes. That's helpful support. Making someone feel loved is also very important. And all these things are things that someone with an eating disorder is looking for. I can attest to this because I had an eating disorder for a long time, and these were all things I wanted. I wanted someone to listen to me. I wanted someone to attempt to understand, even if they couldn't fully understand. I wanted someone to offer to help. I wanted someone to ask me what I needed. I wanted someone to sit there and be silent while I was able to explain myself. I wanted someone to sit there and listen and not judge me. I wanted someone to realize that I wasn't crazy. I wanted someone to encourage me and be proud of me. And I wanted someone to love me. I wanted to feel like I was loved. And most importantly, I wanted to feel like I wasn't alone. I think one of the biggest things is that people struggling with an eating disorder feel alone. And while they know the statistics and they know there are so many other people out there struggling with an eating disorder, it doesn't change the fact that they feel so alone. It's such a lonely disorder. It's such a lonely, lonely thing, and it takes so much to be able to let that person know that they are not truly alone. So anything that you can do to make that person know that they are not alone is going to be a huge help. And one big thing is sometimes all this takes more than once. Um, I know from personal experience and from working with other people who have eating disorders, they can have a wonderful, supportive friend or family member sit there and do all of the things that I just said, and it's not going to get through to them. Or it's not going to be enough, or it's not going to be the right thing at that point. But it doesn't mean that the person who wants to help has done anything wrong. It just means that either the timing wasn't right or the person wasn't ready themselves. So it's just something that you want to remember, that all of these things are all good and right, but you might have to do them more than one time. So another key thing is perseverance and remembering that this is not a one-shot thing. You have to continue to offer all these things to the person who's struggling. If you are someone who's struggling with an eating disorder and you need a friendly ear, someone to listen, I am non-judgmental. I will not judge you. You can send me a message through YouTube. You can send me an email message. I get tons of email messages every single week. You can comment on my blog. I will gladly respond to you there. You can contact me any way that you feel comfortable with. I will listen to you. I will talk to you if that's what you're looking for. Not a therapist, at least not yet, but I will gladly give you my 2 cents if that's what you're looking for, but most of all, I will give you support. And I'm someone who has been in the position, so I can offer the understanding, the actual understanding, and I would be more than happy to if you have no one else to turn to. I'm going to post some resources at the end of this video so that you do know that you have places to go to if you're seeking helpful support and what that really means. I'm going to post some helplines, some hotlines, some websites, some other good resources, and I hope that you will use them if you really need them. I hope you have a great week, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!